So my name is Gustavo Martir. Sixth year at Chico State. I'm a second year graduate student in psychology. I swear, if Chico State had a PhD program, I'd do it here. That's how much I love Chico. It took a while to fall in love with Chico State as a community in general. It took a lot of depression, a lot of isolation, a lot of feelings of academic worthlessness to actually feel like I belong here on campus. And so I worked my way up through AS. My first job on campus was collecting trash and recycling around campus, around the buildings and whatnot. After that, I did a short stint at the Cross-Cultural Leadership Center where I was a Latino parapro. Because of life circumstances, life events, I had to quit. And I ended up pushing a mop at the BMU. I mopped floors, I was on my knees scrubbing floors, I cleaned the grill, I made sandwiches every now and then. And then I found a job at the Student Learning Center as a writing tutor, where I was a tutor there for 3 years. And then after that, I met my next supervisor, and I'm currently a graduate assistant / lead peer coach at Trio Student Support Services, which is a fairly funded program, in which case I provide academic, emotional, and financial coaching to first-generation college students of low-income backgrounds and or with disabilities. So that's essentially who I am. I am from South Sacramento. I believe in community, so much so that I brought my little brother here with me. He's a senior. He's his 4th year here, and I gotta say, he's my proudest accomplishment. He's doing so much. My first job was collecting trash. His first job was as a TA, for a psych professor, because I got him that job, and that's what it's all about, just giving it back to the community, giving back to the people, the next generation that's coming after us. Because, like I said, I've been through so many things that's harmful, that's painful, it's humiliating, and I don't want you to go through that same route that I did. So if I took me this much to grow in 6 years, I want to make sure you grow this much in 2 or 3 years. Somebody asked me a similar question, so it's like, why did you wait until your 6th year here at Chico State to run for president? Well, it's because it took forever. It took a while for me to develop into the leader that I am now. It took a lot of rejections to become the person who I am today and accept myself for who I am. It took a lot of painful moments to realize that there is power and strength in community. And so I'm running for president because I believe that when people like us become leaders, and they become a voice for the voiceless through our education and fight for students' rights, that more students like us will feel like Chico State belongs to them, like this is their home. And I can't tell you how many students I've talked to on the campaign trail and even outside the campaign trail who just say, you know what, it's my first year at Chico State and I'm going to leave next year because I don't see myself in the community. I don't see myself in the people representing me. And I take that shit personally because, again, it took me forever to realize that I truly belong here at Chico State. And I don't want students to feel that way. I don't want students to feel like they don't belong here. And that's why I'm running for AS president, so I can ensure that there is somebody who's in high position of power that truly cares about them and will represent their experiences and their needs. Well, for starters, I think there are already things that are already in place that we need to expand on. For example, I went to the sustainability conference, and that was such a huge success, but there weren't many students there. And I was wondering to myself, why aren't there students there? I think it would be a good opportunity to make that sustainability conference very, very similar to the town hall conferences that we have for political science, where students have to attend and they have to come up with some policies and they have to come up with some ways to interact with sustainability issues. Another one, again, I worked for AS Recycling, where I picked up trash from recycling, and there are many students who, again, I was knee deep in those trash cans, and people still put trash in the recycle and then put recycle in the trash. And one simple solution was just like, you know what, let's just color one green, another one some other color or something. That way people understand that this trash is for recycle and this bin is for recycle, this bin is for trash. That's one. But also another thing is, when I look at the creek, it's very beautiful. A lot of green stuff around it. But most of that stuff are invasive species. I think another way to better increase sustainability on campus is to have students give students opportunity to earn some type of credit, some type of or even a job to pick out those invasive species around campus. That way the native species can actually grow and flourish where they should be and where they naturally do. And also, we need to educate more students, inform more students about the great green spaces that are around campus. I mean, look around you today, it's a beautiful day, there's a lot of green stuff around you, and there's a lot of cool trees out here. I think students should know that how many types of trees there are, because it's one of the there are many types of trees on campus, and there's many beautiful spaces on campus. I think if we have more students working in terms of receiving units or even pay to beautify this campus, I think we will increase our sustainability as a campus in general. I think it begins with getting representatives who have the same shared lived experiences as the students who are being represented. That is to say that many students on campus do not feel like they're represented by the AS or by faculty and by administration. Currently, Chico State is undergoing a huge demographic shift in which there are many more students of color, of low-income backgrounds, first-generation college students coming into campus. And we're not seeing that change in faculty or in high administration positions, meaning they see it as the same students that were here 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and that is not the case. For example, the university likes to call itself a Hispanic serving institution. But how do they have the audacity to call themselves a Hispanic serving institution when they house the Dream Center and literally in the closet in the library? That is an injustice, if you ask me. That is ridiculous. And so the way I plan to navigate both worlds is, again, by having somebody who truly represents the shared lived experiences of these students in positions of power. And we begin to have a collaborative approach. That is to say that we have more student voice, more student insight, more student oversight, and full transparency to the students. Last year, they increased our tuition fees, our student health center fees, our wellness center fees, and whatnot. And we held a forum. Many students reacted to it. Many of them disapproved. And yet AS didn't care. They went ahead and not even put up a fight for us, and just let the administration go ahead and go on with it with the fees, even though a majority of students said no. So what I intend to do and fix the gap is by having somebody in power who has the same shared lived experiences as the rest of the students, and who's in a position of power to do something about it. I did my undergraduate here at Chico State in psychology, and then I'm in my master's program here again in psychology. And it's through psychology that I've learned that there is power and hope in community. That is to say that there are many of us students who are going through something, who are going through some type of depression episode, some type of anxiety or stress episode, and we like to think that I'm not going through that, or we like to think that nobody else is going through something that I'm going through. And I've learned that if we're just a little bit caring for the other person, if we just show a little bit of respect, a little bit of love to the other person and caring, we can create this culture of sincerity and of caring on campus. So I've again, in my experiences as a psychology major, and what I've learned is that we all have our own little differences, but at the end of the day, we're all in this together. And that's the whole point of my campaign. Is like the whole point of my campaign is to make students feel that they are welcome here, that this is truly their home. And I've learned through my experiences that, I tell students this, that I'm going through my depression so I can uplift you. You know what I'm saying? And that I'm going through my food insecurities so I can show you how to take advantage of free food on campus, how to apply for CalFresh, because that shit's complicated, and where the Wildcat food pantries is. One of my policies I'm trying to implement is, there's one big Wildcat food pantry, but I think there should be other smaller food pantries around campus, and call them something like Cubbies around campus. I'm also going through my own economic insecurity to the point where I can't afford a textbook because I gotta buy food. And I'm going through that because I don't want students to go through that as well. Because I understand that's painful, that's humiliating to tell a professor, you know what, look, I can't afford that book because I gotta buy food. But I'm going through that so you don't have to, because there's no need. I mean, if I went through it and it's painful and it hurts and it's humiliating, why do I want you to go through that? You know what I'm saying? And I've learned that through my knowledge that I've acquired, not just as a psychology major at Chico State, but also just as I've begun to develop as a person, as a student on campus. That if we're just all in this together, and there's no point of trying to make you go through something that I went through, because that shit hurt, and I don't want you to go through that. And so I'm going to do my best to reach out behind me and pull the next generation coming after me. I am paving a way so that way I can tell you, go this way and don't go that way, because that way it hurts. Essentially, that's really it, man. It's just knowing that we're all going through a little something, and if we could just walk across somebody and just put a smile on their face, I mean, shit, at the end of the day, that's all worth it. So again, my name is Gustavo, and I'm running for AS president because I believe that there's power and hope in community. So I encourage you to come out and vote on April 17th. Follow the link in the email, and if you like the message, spread the word.